Hi guys, ArchieLuxury, and who do I recommend in America? In America, who do I recommend for quality pre-owned wristwatches? David SW, David SW, David SW. Go to davidsw.com. He is the best, the greatest pre-owned dealer in all of the United States of America. David SW, David SW, David SW. Hi guys, Archie Luxury on the Archie Luxury channel. Today's question, do I have regrets? Do I have regrets for items I have sold? Do I regret selling some items? And the answer is, of course! If you don't have regrets, you obviously have not sold off enough items. That's pretty well the way it goes. If you don't have regrets, you obviously have not been wheeling and dealing enough. And you know, the funny thing is, the regrets I have, they're not always because of financial reasons. They're just things that I really miss. I really miss. And I gotta tell you, this is kind of how life goes. Do I regret items that I've sold? Of course I regret not all the items. There are many items that I've sold that I can remember fondly, but I don't really regret selling them. I can remember years ago, you know. In fact, just hold straight there. I will get this for you, just to show you that I am serious. So let me show you. These are some pictures here. So my first really special watch, my Patek Philippe 5107. I got a small inheritance when my grandfather died, and I bought this watch. It was a very cool watch, 5107. It was my first Patek that I bought that had no compromises. I had owned Pateks before I got this. I'd had a 3919, a 3944. I'd had a quartz 70s thing. I'd owned a few, but this was my first just ultimate sort of watch. And I got that in 2000, look at that, 2009. And I love that watch. I love that watch. Do I regret selling it? You know what? I sold it to a guy in Singapore. I can't remember. I can't find his email address, but I sold it. And lovely guy in Indian guy in Singapore. And then I sold that, and I bought the gold Submariner. And then I remember the gold Submariner. I sold that and got the white gold world time. Then I sold that and got the yellow gold. I still have that watch today. So do I regret? You know, it's kind of a progression. The funny thing is, one watch I did really regret. Out of everything I've ever owned that I sold, the one thing, I mean, if I had my chance, the one thing I'd ask for back is this. That's my Patek 5035. And I actually got it back. And before I got it back, I actually had this picture, this framed on my wall, just as a memento for this watch that I loved so much. And I took that photo. I just loved this watch. That was one watch that I wanted back, definitely. And I got it back. So to be honest with you, out of everything I sold, that was probably the most precious thing. And it's strange because people would say, oh, Archie, what about your 1016, your 1016? That's the Explorer 1, the plastic Explorer 1, which, and you know what? I own that. I bought that in 1990 and I sold it in, when did I sold it about 97? And yeah, I miss it, but I don't really, I mean, I'd love to have it back, but the thing is, of course, is that that watch itself there, it's a great watch, and it would mean a lot to me to get it back, but, I gotta tell you, I don't think, that watch was a beautiful watch. It was a gorgeous watch, but it was so long ago that I had it that I actually have kind of gone out of that genre. And yes, it's a very valuable watch now, 1016, and a lot of trolls and nasty people say, oh, you're 1016, but you know what? It doesn't really mean that much to me because, yes, I wish I still had it. Of course I do. Financially, for financial reasons and sentimental reasons. But in all fairness, I got 4 Pateks. If I had a choice of my 4 Pateks or that 1016, I'd take my 4 Pateks. Okay, I love them. They've kind of been dream pieces. They're really dream pieces. So I don't really see it as a big scenario there. I tell you what I do miss. There's always things you miss. At one stage, I downsized my Louis Vuitton collection and I sold my green leather Elsa, the tiger green Elsa. I sold it, and I gotta be honest with you, that's one thing I really regret selling. I look back on it and think, why did I sell it? And I remember I cleared some debt with it. It was quite good to have done that. But in all honesty, you know, I think the reality is I've built a beautiful Louis Vuitton hard case collection since then. And sometimes, you know, in your collections, you've got to let go of things to let new things come in. So, in some ways there, yeah, I wish I could have my green Elsa suitcase back, but you know what? I was down. Sometimes it's good to do a bit of cutting out some of the pieces in your collection. It makes you appreciate. I've often sold pieces and bought pieces back. In fact, let me tell you what I'm really happy I got back. And that was, I had the Louis Vuitton president in Adios. Okay, so I've actually had 3 of these. And they're apparently pretty rare. This is the Louis Vuitton President Classier. This is in Adios Tiger. So if I had a choice of having either this president or the green Elsa, I'd probably take the Adios president because it's got the palladium hardware. I love the blacky grey. It's kind of a more usable piece. The Elsa, the tray was really delicate. It was delicate. It had a bit of a mark on it, which it was only minor. But I think realistically, I think this is probably, I've owned this thing 3 times. The first one, I had it, I sold it, and then I bought it back. I sold it, then I got another one, a second one. That was actually given to me, believe it or not. And then this one here, a third one, which is another one. So I got to tell you, I've had this case 4 times. If you count the one that I had back twice, I've had it 4 times. It's funny, when you got one piece back, you don't think about it anymore. I keep thinking of the green Elsa that I had. So, you know, it's kind of funny. I love it. I love this. This suitcase means a lot to me. I just love it. I love it to death. I love it to death. It's just beautiful. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. It's just, it's quality. It's quality. That's what I love. I'm actually really happy I got it back at a bargain price too. So, I mean, in some ways there, I miss my green Elsa. I do miss it. I miss it. But you know what? I think sometimes I say to myself, well, you know, Paul, when I owned that green Elsa, I didn't have 4 Pateks, okay? And I say, what would I rather have? The Elsa and 1 Patek, or do I want 4 Pateks with no, you know, so you kind of, it's because that money that came back, I put it into other things, you see? And that's kind of, and the funny thing is, there are things that I've owned that have become very valuable that I don't really miss. My Audemars Piguet 14790, that's the Royal Oak 36mm. I sold it at a loss, and I'm actually quite bitter how much the thing has gone up now. And the guy contacted me. He was really nice, but I was really rude to him because I don't want to know how much money it's worth now. But I got to tell you, that watch, to be honest with you, even though it's incredibly valuable, it's a piece of shit. It's a piece of shit. That Audemars Piguet Royal Oak, I had it, and I had it for a couple months. Then it used to stop before the date change. I sent it to 2 watchmakers. They needed parts, so I had to send it to bloody AP. It cost me a fortune. And then the guy who's got it now, so I sold it just after it got serviced by AP, so it was perfect. Now it's not bloody running, and he's only worn it a few times, which is, it's just a piece of shit. That watch is a piece of shit. I don't know why. It just is. And the funny thing is, before I sold it, I could have sold my Jaeger LeCoultre Reverso Grand Date and kept the AP. It was either piece, because I actually paid more for the AP. So I paid more for the Jaeger LeCoultre Reverso Grand Date. I paid more, it's $500 more for that than I paid for the bloody AP. And I could have kept either one. And the AP, I mean, it's gone up a bit, but it hasn't, it's basically kept pace with inflation, okay? So that's kind of a classic case there. I don't really want that. AP's been a piece of shit. It's an absolute piece of shit. As I said there, I was actually doing some soul searching, and I said to myself, what piece do I really miss? And that was a good question. It made me think about it. Oh shit, this thing keeps falling apart. Why does this bitch? This was always a bitch, this. You know this? This is my picture frame here. I would have to say this is the watch that meant the most. The 5035, the 5035, that little annual calendar. Yes, girl size. Come on, trolls, come and tease me and tell me how. That's the watch I miss the most. That's probably, out of all the items I've ever owned in my life, if I could say to myself, what item would I want back, it would be that watch, definitely. Absolutely that watch. And Yeah, definitely that watch. So I got to be honest with you. The 5035 is probably that's something, because I owned it. I got it for my 40th birthday. It's a great story. I got it for my 40th, and what I did was my dad had helped me pay my car off, and this annual calendar came up, and I refinanced the car without telling him I did that. I refinanced the car, and then my wife had this terrible car accident, and I thought, right, I want to get a baby grand piano. She always wanted a baby grand piano. So I sold the Patek. The funny thing is, the advertisement for the Patek is a guy teaching his son to play the piano. So it's kind of very, very, very ironic there. And I managed to buy it back. He sold it back to me, and I then took it to Hong Kong and got it. I got it completely serviced, overhauled by Patek. So I love that piece there. It's been a very interesting piece. That's probably the most out of everything I've owned and sold. I mean, I've had some valuable things. Yes, I have. I had 1680 red subs. Never really had a close attachment to them because I flipped them so quickly. The 1016, see, that was so long ago. Doesn't really, that was like a half a lifetime ago for me. Because it was over 20 years ago, 24 years ago, you see. I got to tell you, probably the funny thing is, I'm starting to form new relationships with new luxury goods. My beautiful 41mm sub, see that? If I sold that, I'd regret it, because I love it. I love it. That's why I don't want to ever sell it. I've got to the stage where I love that watch. I really love that watch. So in some ways, what do I regret? See, there's some things that have gone up financially. I don't even want them back because they were such a pain in the ass. That AP is a classic example. That was a piece of shit, that watch. My Louis Vuitton Alza, yes, it's gone up, but you know what? That money was put into Pateks and, you know, other things I've got now. So my collection is way, way bigger. So there are things I've sold. There are things I've sold and regret selling. But you know what? In the same token, that money, I don't have endless money. You can just buy anything I want. The money I've got raised from selling things has gone into new things. So I don't think you can. I don't regret. I mean, I regret selling certain things. Yes, I do. Of course, I do. But I regret selling. But I don't think if you have those regrets, if you don't have those regrets, you're obviously not flipping. Because I'm basically a flipper who's come good. Okay, I had to buy and sell a bit to build my collection. I wasn't rich. I was on lowish money. Okay, lowish money. I had to horse trade to build the collection. So yeah. So I do regret things I've sold. Of course I do. The Maserati Blue Dial Daytona, I should have kept it. That was a beautiful piece. Yes, it was. What did I do? Oh, that's right. The money from that went into the 5127, which is silly because then I had two 5127s. I didn't know that would have, but you know what? That's just swings and roundabouts. And it had a service dial. It wasn't the original. It was a white dial that they'd sent to service at Rolex to get. So it was okay, but it's worth a fortune now, and I miss it. I miss it to an extent. Oh, look, I'm happy. I got 4 Rolexes, 4 Pateks, 3 Rolex, a Speedy, and a ArchieLuxury Reverso. Can't argue too much. So yeah, I think if you don't have regrets, you obviously haven't flipped or traded enough. It's inevitable. It's inevitable, and there's always going to be the one that got away. It's always the case. So yeah, that's how it goes there. I'm ArchieLuxury. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please like, subscribe, and tell your friends, and I will see you in the next one. Hey guys, check out one of my best friends, Jamie Opulence, on YouTube. Just go to Jamie Opulence on YouTube. A fantastic channel from my good friend Jamie. Check it out, guys. Hey guys, ArchieLuxury. We're gearing up to Christmas, and I want to tell you about ArchieLuxury advertising packages. So guys, let me give you the drum. Let me give you the squirt. Let me tell you the story. So, what have we got here for you? We got some really good packages. What have we got? Advertising packages. Do you want a 15-second insert? 15-second insert into every ArchieLuxury video and Paul Pluta channel video. 15-second insert into each video. $200 for a month. $200 for a month. If you want a rolling script, every video for a month, $100 for the month. You'll get your rolling script into each video I produce. Fridge space is pretty full at the moment. I will be advising when I'm taking more fridge advertisers. Let me know if there's any Christmas deal I can do for you. I'm ArchieLuxury. Advertise and become a winner.